Michael KAISER fans can never stop winning because the new gen emperor just keeps evolving. No matter how much the field changes or how much is passed on to him, KAISER keeps adapting and dominating. And now with itoshi and ISAGI YOICHI pushing themselves beyond their limits as well, we're truly getting some of the best chapters of this match. What's going on, everyone? My name is Animasu, and today we're breaking down a duel overview of Blue Lock Chapter 290 and 291. If you enjoy staying up to date with this series or just want to support the channel, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment with your thoughts. My community Discord is also linked in the description, so feel free to join that and chat with me and other fans. With that being said, let's dive right back into the madness of Bastion Munich vs PXG. Blue Lock Chapter 290 kicks off with the loose ball from the previous play, as itoshi and stop leaves everyone frozen. Nanase, Karasu, and Shidou all staring at their teammate in disbelief. Rin isn't just keeping up, he's once again evolving and devouring everything in his way. With the loose ball dropping down from the air though, it ends up being effortlessly trapped by Charles Chevalier as he activates his meta vision. Looking up, the imp then begins to scan the pitch with his eyes sharpened, assuring us that this will be PXG's grand finale. But the score is still locked at 2-2, just one goal will decide everything. Charles does not hesitate. He launches a high-arching cross down the field, sending the ball soaring over Yohiyori and straight towards Tokimitsu, a perfect setup for PXG's next move. With this play unfolding, the perspective then shifts to ISAGI YOICHI, who's fuming and completely caught off guard. He and Michael KAISER's last attack was improvised on the spot, creating a brand new chemical reaction that should have ended the game. So how the hell did itoshi adapt and shut it down instantly? And speaking of the rapidly evolving monster, Rin appears on Isagi's right, cutting off his train of thought to assure him that no matter where he goes, Rin will be there within 4 meters to lock him down. His obsession has driven every single one of Isagi's abilities deep into his memory, allowing him to shut him down on reflex as long as he stays in range. We then see puzzle pieces of ISAGI and KAISER disconnect as itoshi continues on, saying that he was waiting for this exact moment to implement his strategy. The fiery moment when you two egoists would try to connect again. Rin speaks with his tongue hanging out, his aura flashing, and text bubbles fully black, a clear sign that he's completely in the zone. ISAGI begins clenching his teeth in frustration at this, finally realizing that itoshi is genuinely just insane. Meanwhile, PXG keeps pushing forward with the ball, shifting from Tokimitsu to Nanase. With no time to hesitate, Isagi activates Metavision and begins scanning the field to figure out what his next move should be. His first instinct is to break free from Rin's 4-meter hold, but the second he considers it, he realizes the problem. Forcing his way out will only limit his freedom and make his coordination with KAISER even worse. At this point in the game, if that happens, Bastion Munich will be completely obliterated. At the 11th hour, itoshi is still evolving, still finding new motivations to change, but if Rin won't back down, then neither will Isagi. He's gonna match that energy and fight until he achieves victory. With Isagi lunging forward, he dives even deeper into his 0 point, locking in on what he must do. He has to fight and beat Rin within that 4-meter space. There's no escape, no avoiding it. If he wants to win, he has to outplay Rin head on. Inside Rin's mind, it's exactly what he wants. He wants Isagi to keep coming, to struggle, to push back, to give him someone to destroy. Your thoughts, your freedom, dreams in your mind, everything that's precious to you, I'll destroy all of it. What was once just a puppeteering hand now has a twisted eyeball in the center, fused with the chaotic energy of his destroyer aura. It's a perfect visual blend of his cold calculating nature and his rampaging destructive instincts. The way the aura is drawn and the intensity is absolutely insane. Meanwhile, Kiyora struggles to contain Nanase, who breaks free and keeps pushing the ball upfield while screaming to his team that they must win now. The attack doesn't slow down for a second. The ball gets chained from Karasu to Zantetsu, who quickly fires off another pass, keeping the momentum alive. Yohiyori and Ryuchi were sadly helpless in the face of PXG's counterattack, and with there being no pressure applied so far, they've already crossed the midfield with possession. Zantetsu's pass lands perfectly back at the feet of Charles Chevalier, who barely hesitates before looking towards itoshi with a grin. Fully embracing the chaos, he tells the destroyer to go forth. Effortlessly transitioning from his trap to a pass, Charles launches a high-arching ball straight towards the dueling rivals just outside of the box, a one-shot killer pass aimed right into the heart of battle. Instead of landing at Rin's feet, Charles' pass sails right by him, cutting through the air and finding shidou ryusei instead. Mid-air, wings spread, Shidou traps the ball effortlessly, his demon aura flaring up as he prepares for impact. It turns out that Charles' words were just a trick that the little goofball wanted to play. Shidou was his true target all along, and he doesn't let the moment pass without some chaos, thanking Charles in perfect French with an I love you. Their brotherly dynamic is honestly one of the most wholesome things in this entire arc, and despite my issues with Shidou's new egoist league development, his connection with Charles remains one of my favorite aspects of this storyline. Kyoragen isn't backing down yet though. Sliding in at full speed, he positions himself at Shidou's last line of defense, ready to do whatever it takes to prevent a goal. Kunigami as well comes crashing in, joining Kiyora Jin for a two-man press against shidou ryusei as the ball bounces in front of them. He of course stumbles for a moment, caught off guard by the sudden pressure, but it doesn't take long for Shidou to again regain his composure. With a grin, he reminds them exactly who he is, a contrarian to his core. Without hesitation, he flicks the ball to his left, keeping the play alive and setting up a pass for his very own rival, itoshi. With itoshi trapping the ball cleanly with his right foot, he simultaneously holds Isagi back, keeping him locked in place. His tongue hangs out even further, his aura flaring up as he assures Isagi that this will be their last battle. Isagi quickly gauges the distance to the goal, 33 meters. Right now it's too far for Rin to take a shot, but if he lets him push just a bit further, he might be in prime range, and that one move could be the play that ends everything. Shidou bursts to the right, sprinting at full speed while shouting for Rin to send a contrarian pass back. But Isagi already knows that is not what itoshi wants. Predictably, Rin still wants to score the final goal himself, charging forward and crashing straight into Isagi. The sheer disrespect of it all irks Isagi to his core. Rin still sees him as nothing more than a disposable pawn, but if that's how it is, then so be it. With a sharp gaze locked on Rin, Isagi challenges him to come forth and give it his all. As he lunges forward to get an arm around Rin, KAISER sprints in from the left, questioning if this is really Rin's ideal shooting point. Keeping his pace, he makes it clear that this time, he's stepping in and shutting down these childish antics. Isagi is obviously so happy with this as he won't have to take on Rin all by himself, so while tapping into his 0 point, he praises the Emperor, calling him the absolute best. Despite KAISER standing right in front of him, itoshi does not slow down. He keeps barreling forward, his eyes now fully transformed into his spiral destroyer eyes. With a mocking tone, he calls them tepid, declaring that this fire is exactly what he's been waiting for all along. The dual aces are left shocked as they expected him to react to their coordination, to adjust, but he didn't even aim for Isagi in the end. Rin's true target wasn't Isagi at all. He wanted to crash straight into the Emperor himself. A one-on-one battle with the new Generation 11 striker, KAISER. Lowering his center of gravity, Rin makes his move, trying to sweep KAISER off balance. At the same time, his infected puppeteer hand manifests behind him, now impaling KAISER with spikes, a chilling depiction of Rin's sheer desire to kill, to destroy. But what makes it even more twisted? His motivation still comes from ISAGI YOICHI. If he destroys KAISER, then in turn, he takes away Isagi's ultimate fire. With thorny vines creeping up around the scene, KAISER doesn't even flinch. Instead he tenses up, wraps an arm around Rin and swings through the air, using Rin's own core as leverage. A smirk crosses his face as he tells Rin, when it comes to physical contact, I've been training for this since I was a kid. But beneath that confidence, we see a glimpse of the past. Flower petals falling through the sky, overlaying the painful memories. This kind of physical battle, it's nothing to him. KAISER was built for this, and no matter what, he's not backing down. I've had a way worse upbringing than you shitty humans. With Rin still locked in its grip, KAISER swings fully around him like a firefighter pole, using the momentum to launch his leg forward and kick the ball away just as Rin was about to take the shot. At the very last second, he completely shut down Rin's improvised targeting, adapting in real time to deny the goal. Isagi, all he can do is stare at his teammate in disbelief before finally shouting out, "Are you a god, you damn superstar?" Chapter 291 picks up with the crowd erupting in excitement as Rin and KAISER crash to the ground. The sheer intensity of the moment sends shockwaves across the world, with fans roaring at the spectacle. Up in the booth, the announcers can barely contain themselves, screaming in pure amazement. KAISER, the Emperor himself, just pulled off a last-second acrobatic defensive play, denying a goal in a way that only he could achieve. With the perspective shifting to ISAGI YOICHI, he watches as Rin and KAISER pick themselves up from the ground. As he takes in this moment, Isagi realizes something. His read of the situation alone wasn't enough. He required KAISER, who's operating on a version of himself that Isagi never could have predicted. And just like that, the Emperor's already back in motion, sprinting alongside Rin and screaming in his ear to go again. With KAISER looking ahead towards his teammates, he takes a rare moment of reflection. Playing along Isagi, something unexpected is happening. The shitty past he's always hated and suppressed starts to feel strangely meaningful. For the first time in his life, he isn't just chasing dominance, he's being affirmed. The battlefield, the struggle, this competition, it's all starting to make sense in a way that it never has before. Maybe this will be the turning point for him to learn and grow, but for the moment, he just has to keep fighting. Charles Chevalier is then left helpless as Yukimi Akinyu leaps into the air, chopping the loose ball and finally getting another chance to shine. As he lands, he takes a brief moment to admire KAISER's ever-evolving play. In a way, he sees himself in this. Now as he pushes forward with the ball, he puts that growth into words. Playing alongside ISAGI YOICHI has made him understand, you cannot just stay the same. You have to constantly work towards new heights and grow. I have no choice but to change. With that declaration, Yukimi explodes forward, gliding past two defenders with precision before charging straight towards the goal box. As he sprints, memories resurface. The moment he was first diagnosed with his eye condition, the fear, the ego he once left behind. But just as the past threatens to weigh him down, another flashback cuts through. His game-winning goal against Mandarin City. Instead of breaking him down, those painful moments can only fuel his fire. He doesn't just want to play, he wants to deepen his ego, to push even further. Those of us who stand on the field with Yoichi Isagi know of this privilege and cruelty. Continuing on, Yukimiya sprints towards the next defender, Tokumitsu, who still can't shake his nerves and is screaming in terror. As Yuki closes in though, he makes one thing clear with a demonstration. Anyone who cannot evolve in this environment and change will disappear. Tokumitsu tries to step in, but before his foot can even touch the ground, Yukimiya is already gone, gliding past effortlessly and sprinting full speed towards the box. Just as he gains momentum, Nanase and Zantetsu close in front of him, wrapping their arms around for a double press. Yukimiya in this unfortunate situation simply just cracks a smile. Even with his individual run being stopped, he is not fazed. Instead, he grins and assures them that this sinking ship can still produce some treasure. Yukimiya threads a pass between the two defenders, slipping the ball through their tight press and finding Hiyori, who leaps through the air with full focus to trap it. As he lands, his aura flares up, his expression intensifies, and in that moment, he fully embraces Yukimiya's words. With conviction, he agrees wholeheartedly, "We're egoists who died once, and then were revived by ISAGI YOICHI." This is probably the craziest instance of glaze I've ever seen in anime manga, but you know what? You gotta respect it. He's still fighting here because that's what ISAGI YOICHI taught him. As Hiyori sprints up the field, shards of glass break away from him, symbolizing the moment of his evolution and growth. Every step forward is a rebirth, a new version of himself forged through struggle. But even as he acknowledges Isagi as the nucleus of the team, he wants to make one thing clear. No one is fighting for Isagi's future or what he wants. This battle isn't about serving him like he's Kageyama. It's about each of them pushing forward for their own ego and desires. All of us are fighting as if we were the protagonist here. With Isagi approaching just outside of the box, Hiyori acknowledges it once again. This ability to draw out the ego of others, it's Yoichi's magic. The very thing that fuels Bashiruminik's strength. With the perspective shifting back to Isagi Yoichi, he scans the field, processing every little detail. But even with all that awareness, he realizes one thing. He can't predict the awakening of a genius. Earlier, Michael KAISER didn't just react. He used his own specs to the fullest and matched Rien's awakening. And more than anything, he responded to the situation faster than anyone else. In other words, for a talented learner, the most important thing is their awareness of this ever-changing field being faster than everyone else's. As Isagi makes this realization, a puzzle piece appears with a chapter title on it, signaling just how important this moment is for his evolution. He may not have this raw natural talent of a genius, but he can intellectually understand what the world wants. That alone gives him the chance to keep up. With a powerful stomp onto the pitch, he urges himself to find it. The awakenings, the errors, everything that happens on this field. If he wants to win, he must be the first to adapt and the first to react. Because in the end, it's not just about skill. It's about finding that one lucky outcome that will decide the match. With page 14 showing a double spread, Isagi once again returns to his 0 point after figuring out this new piece. If he can create a play faster than anyone else, then that attack will seize the world's attention and become part of his originality. We then shift back to Hiyori, who with possession of the ball, looks ahead at KAISER and Isagi, deciding who to send this pass to. In the end, it doesn't matter which one. The only thing that matters is which striker can keep up with his dream of creating the world's best pass. As Hiyori pulls back his leg to launch a pass, a familiar voice ahead lets out a laugh, pointing out that he seems to be getting fired up. This is none other than Karaso Tabito, who appears at his old friend's front to lock him down. With a sharp glare, Karaso activates his newly awakened metavision and locks eyes with Hiyori while challenging him to bring it on. Karasu smirks, admitting that he never thought he and Hiyori would face off on such a stage. His words hit differently, and Hiyori's clearly caught off guard. Standing in his way isn't just another defender, it's the very person who made him once excited about his own ego. A brief flashback resurfaces, showing the moment Karasu helped shift his mindset, pushing him to see himself in a new light. But there's no time for nostalgia. Karasu keeps pressing, mocking him with a sharp question. So are you extraordinary, or just ordinary? Hiyori ultimately decides to charge ahead, taking the duel head on. If he can't beat Karasu here, then the new egoist he's striving to find will never be born. With no hesitation, the two old friends clash head-on, their auras surging as crow feathers and glass shards radiate outward. This is a super awesome moment that I cannot wait to see more of next chapter, but for now, the final page is absolutely insane. As Isagi Yoichi and Michael KAISER sprint ahead, just behind them, Alexis Ness is still fighting, biting his lip angry and refusing to back down. Stuttering "I" over and over, he seems to finally be thinking about himself. What makes this panel truly interesting to me though is how this panel is split in half. On KAISER's side, Ness's eyes are filled with pure anger and disgust, boiling with frustration. But on ISAGI's side, his eyes are wide and glowing for some reason. But that's sadly ending off chapter 291. We'll be picking right back up next week for chapter 292, titled Bad Luck. There's a lot of possible interpretations for this title, but given some context of the last few chapters, I assume Ness will try something other than passing to Kaiser. Maybe even he does pass to Kaiser, but no matter, ISAGI YOICHI will be the fastest to adapt and react to his play. Whatever the case may be, if you enjoy staying up to date with the Blue Lock manga or just would like to support me, please be sure to click that subscribe button and comment below some video ideas. I also have a community Discord link down below, and there you can chat or play games with me and a ton of other awesome people. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.